I did pay 45 euros for this very beat up, but I don't know if it's intact, but it's, well, not broken on the case at least. Commodore PC20-III, which is also known as the Commodore Colt. Yeah, that doesn't look factory. Let's take a peek inside. This video is kindly sponsored by PCB Way. Thank you, PCB Way. But before we do this, let's check out the machine. We have nothing in the front except for two LEDs, which I assume is power and hard disk. We have a drive which sits a little crooked in here. Oops. On the side we have a keyboard connector which looks corroded at best. A reset button, screws seemingly intact. On the back we have a mouse port which is taped off, don't know why. On-off switch, composite video, RGB, config for the output of this connector, I think. Serial parallel, another thing that looks like a serial port, game port, parallel port, and a VGA card. And this is a PC10-III or PC20-III. On the other side there's nothing. It looks rusty, but I hope it can be saved because it's a nice machine and the case is very reminiscent of the A3000. So let's open her up and let's take a look inside there. I have no idea what I got myself into again. I hope it just works, but that would be a thing. The seller was nice enough to put this into the package. I have no idea if I can even use this inside this machine. I doubt it. However, let's open her up. Ay. Phew. This looks interesting. Looking for the corrosion. I assume it's down there somewhere at the battery. Yeah, and it's even built a little bit like the A3000 with this tray here. So let's first try to get this out of here. Ah, that is still screwed in. What is that? Who did this? So it's still screwed in this on the side. So this really did take a hit, a massive hit. And I think this machine normally comes with a 5¼ inch disk drive. So someone retrofitted this 3½ inch drive. Yep. To work with a 5¼ inch connector. Shinnon disk drive FB354. I can already spot some corrosion there. And there's the battery. Yep. And it's, oh man, that board is heavily corroded. So I think it's time to disassemble the machine. Whoa, shoot. Look at that. Corrosion is even over here. It's all green. Oh, and that screw right here, it's just a rust bolt. Wow, that looks rough. I think we just plug it in and see what it does. Maybe a light comes on or something. Here goes nothing. And nothing is what I get. Even the power supply is dead. Wow. Yep, nothing at all. Okay, wow. And of course it has a proprietary connector, so replacing the power supply will be a pain. So maybe I will just keep the case and put in something else. So I did take the cards out, and now you can see how green this is. I mean, take a look at this greenish shit there. Man, that thing is heavy. Put it down. So I discovered Paradise 88 VGA card, which is an 8-bit ISA. I discovered this IDE floppy controller card, which is 16-bit ISA in an 8-bit slot. Could work, but might not be the fastest. And I discovered this Shinnon FB354 Amiga drive, which is made into an FB354i by this connector here. So I assume this is actually an original Commodore mod to use in its PC line. But you can use these drives in an Amiga 2000 or 500 or any Amiga. So yeah, at least I get an Amiga drive, which is nice. So for the price, I'm happy. I have cards and a drive and a case and a dead power supply and a very crusty board. So what else could you want? So I did remove the power supply and the drive cage, and that is what is left now. So this area is completely green, and the board, the traces are actually coming up here. So this is not, you can't save this. It's just bubbling up here. It's green here, but all the traces which should be like this are bubbling up here, and you can see that they are not good anymore. So if I take something to scrap on there, you can see this just comes apart. So this is a very lost cause, I'm afraid. So I can't save this board, but I can save parts of it. The interesting thing is the battery is not the culprit here. The battery is not exploded. It seems completely intact, which is astounding. So I will salvage a few parts from this, and I will throw the board on eBay as it is. I will take good photos, and maybe someone can desolder stuff. I will keep the case because the case is in good shape. It's just a bit dirty. The only rusty part was this slot cover. That was very rusty. So I had to drill this screw out. There's the rest of the screw. It was so rusty I couldn't get a grip on it. Now I have the board out of the case, and I did remove the power supply, and this is what I was greeted with on the underside. We have another package, and I just did cut the tape here. Let's take a peek inside. Packaging looks okay-ish for now. Let me take this out of here somehow. And it's never a great idea to put the heavy thing on the keyboard, because I can already see that the key is broken. And some stuff falling off. Commodore logo. Oh man, that's not great. Why? Don't get it. Is it really so hard to put a keyboard on top? I mean, the address label was on top here, so it seems to have survived, except for that one key here. Yeah, don't seem to have any further cracks, thankfully. Unnecessary damage. I hate it. I really hate it. Take a look at this Commodore PC10-III. There's a Commodore logo, which is nice. And this is a different version than the one I already have. It seems to someone has 3D printed cover here. There's a Commodore logo missing. Yeah, that looks different. There's those 4 feet. Not much on. That's really heavy. this side, except for one missing screw, and that is not an original screw. And on the other side we have a reset switch, a red one this time, and the keyboard, and also a missing screw. So there's just 2 screws here. And on the back side, by the way, this is a 360K disk drive, I guess. And we have a power switch, we have a mouse port, which is not a serial port, it's an Amiga mouse port, because it's a Commodore PC. We have a composite out, we have RGB out, we have what appears to be a little bent serial port and a parallel port, and seemingly no cards, but it is so heavy that I assume there are cards inside here. I think the power supply, as far as I can look through these fins here, is not the OG, and it says here PC10-III, PC20-III. Serial number is 204503. Didn't know they made that much of these. So we have to remove these 2 screws and the 2 screws on the side to get inside, and that is what we will do now. And yeah, there's not much inside in terms of cards or anything. It's a very big power supply, this one here. Not sure if it works. Yeah, they usually suffer from bad battery leakage, so not looking forward to that. It says in here PC3 PC10C board, and it's a ref 5.7A, which is the later version. So I have both the earlier version, which is a PC20-III, and the earlier version. So let's disassemble that. There's a hard drive down here, and that seems to be an IDE controller card or something, because these PCs don't have standard IDE, they have their own format. And this is quite some stuff on here. So my goal is to actually build one Commodore PC, because my PC20 had a very damaged motherboard and I took it out. The case is still in good condition, and I will build in the PC20 case, and I will maybe sell this year or retro-bride it and put in something else. Not sure yet. Maybe it will do a sleeper PC or something like this. Let's pull that out. This is a Shinnon FZ502. And that is supposed to be 360K drive, which is in very nice condition if it actually works. Very nice condition. Put that to the side for now. And here we have the super heavy half-height hard drive, which is only screwed in by 1 screw. And we can move that out. Heavy beast. Wow. Micro Science International Corporation, MIC, model HH1050, MFM drive. Okay. So that is actually an MFM controller. Interesting. So we have something on the board here, which is just, yeah, we have, in theory, we have a hard drive controller here, which is not used. So we are using the MFM, I assume because the hard drive died or something. You can't get them anymore. Yeah, let's leave this cable in. Let's try to get this whole thing out of here, which is screwed in from all the different places, which is always nice. So to remove these cages, it's a bit like the Amiga 3000 with the cage. I'm not sure if this thing is good or not, and if it even boots. Or shall we just plug it in and see what happens? I mean, we could just plug in the composite and see what it does. I think, why not? Not much to lose here. So all I need from this is pretty much the board and the power supply, and maybe the disk drive. So do we configure for composite, or do we just try? I think we just try. Come on. You only live once, as they like to say. Hopefully nothing explodes. Let's switch this on. That works. Not. So there's no way to actually switch this on except for the power button on the back of the machine. And that doesn't do anything at all. So I would consider this to be deadish. Let's pull the plug here. And let's see if we can unscrew the rest and take a look at the board. Just pull this out like this, and then you can go and unscrew this cage here. This out. And there's no battery damage, which is quite nice, because someone changed the battery, which is great. Awesome. So there might be a chance that this board is actually good. And I think the cage is actually the same as on the other case. So the metal should be identical. Let me grab the other case and we take a look at the other case. So here's the other case. And if you take a look at it from the front, you can see it looks quite different than this right here, which is what this looks like. So we have a Commodore logo, it's in a different place. We have these cutouts, which might even be in the same, it's pretty much exactly the same position. Yeah. So this is totally compatible size-wise. Yeah, it's even the screws line up. So that is pretty much the same metal cage here and here. Looks exactly the same from behind. Interestingly, it even has the same print on the back. It says PC10 here. It's the same sticker. PC10-III, PC20-III. This is actually this one in front of here. It's actually a later model. But other than that, it looks exactly the same. This drive cage here, this 3.5-inch adapter, is original. That came with the machine. So I now have a 3.5-inch drive and 5.25-inch drive, which is pretty nice. Ding. Yeah, and you need this adapter to adapt from the 3.5-inch drive to the controller on the board. Okay. I have to put the front cover on the other case. Let's first take that out, because we will need that in a minute. Now we can properly see what they actually changed. Yeah, they look pretty much the same. This is a bit sloped down here. This is just straight. It's a bit the design language of the A3000. More on this one than on this one. But I like this design better. Looks a bit more modern, I think. So I will use this one here with the board in the other case. Not sure if there's actually a board that fits this case. That would be interesting. An old 486 board or 386 board or 286 even, just to make this machine working again. I mean, in the end it's just a PC, so nothing super special about it. Okay, that is that. Another empty case. So as always at this point in the video, let's thank PCB Way for sponsoring this video by checking out the PCB Way shared projects. And as always, I try to find a project that is somehow related to what I'm doing right now in the video. So let's check out if we can find some Commodore PC10 stuff. And yeah, there's actually a PCB reproduction, and the board I have is a 5.7A, and here it is. So if you are not as lucky as I am, at least on my second machine, then you can get a replacement PCB here, and you just go on the project page, add to cart, and then you get to the part where you can select the color and all that stuff, and it's that easy. You just select what you want, solder mask, silk screen, and then you go on save to cart. Can't quite believe that it's only $5. Let's check that. So if you want one in yellow, it's more expensive than white. So I do of course know that you can get the PCBs for $5, but that is unbelievable. Let's save to cart. I agree. And here we are. So this is what I just added. That is a different project here. Just ignore that. I think that is my Commodore C64 mechanical keyboard PCB from last time. Haven't ordered this yet. But as you can see, it's $5. But it is still subject to an audit. And you will get an email when the audit is done, and then you can just go on proceed to checkout and pay. So yeah, that's PCB Way, and an easy way to get your PC10-III running. Easy in air quotes, because you have to still solder a motherboard, but well, you know what I mean. Back to the video. Let's grab this again. We still don't know if anything is wrong with this. So here's an 8088, which says OK, Faraday, which says OK, CSG 5720, which says OK, this says UR, this says OK, video. Okay, so the main question is it the PSU or is it the board? Could try if this power supply actually works. This is a PSU from my PC20. Let's see what happens. Absolutely nothing. Great. Let's try that one right here, and let's see if the fan spins. Not even sure if the fan spins if there's no load. I would assume it would, but you never know. Let's see. Nothing. Okay, so it seems we have a very dead PSU. Good thing is I could put in a different PSU, like I did for the Mac I repaired lately. I'm pretty sure that has been opened, and someone decided to put it on eBay. Thank you for that. Not sure. Open now. It does. What do we have? So it doesn't look too bad, to be honest. Fuse seems to be okay. It looks good. So let's go and let's check these wires here. Oh, this PSU, it has +5 minus, no, it has +5 +12 -12. And that is all. If that is indeed all, we could just take this cable here and we could rewire it to a different PSU. Let me quickly check. So according to the schematics, we have power good, which is pin 1, -12, +12, ground A and B, which are, well, combined on the board, and +5. Okay, we have actually pin out on the connector, and that says that brown is power good, and that red would be -12, and orange would be +12, and that yellow would be +5. So yeah, it's not quite the right color coding. Could quickly check if we have 5 volt or 12 volt on these here. Let's quickly do this. As I said, it could be that this PSU needs load and that it doesn't have that right now. Switch it on. Nothing. Okay, so I would assume this PSU is dead and I don't know why it's dead. Okay, so according to some pinouts, this should actually have a power OK on this third last pin on the left side here. So I could, in theory, just wire this inside here, combined with a 12 volt power supply, and I would be pretty much good to go. For now, I will just try to get this connector to fit onto this here, or we could just solder to the board. So I did finally decide that the PSU on this PC10-III seems to be dead, and I went and tried to rebuild the PSU with a modern version, and yeah, let me show you what I did. So let's start on the back side of this. So this is the back of the board, this here. And what I did is, you have the PSU connector right here, and since I don't have the correct PSU adapter for this, I decided to solder to the board directly. I soldered wires to the back of the board, and if you take a look at this, you have these 6 pins on the connector, and if you look at this from like that, so here are the connectors on the outside of the board, and this is the back side. So if you want to build along, this is the back of the board. You have, let me check, you have 5 volts here, which is the red wire. Then you have ground and ground on these 3 pins here. Oh, so you have 5 volts here, ground, ground, and down there you have plus 12, then you have minus 12, and you have power good, which is the gray wire which comes from here. So you have 6 wires. Could do with 5, but we have 6 here. So keep this in mind. And what I did is, let me turn this around again. I did take this Pico PSU here, which is just a very small power supply unit, 90 watts, which connects to a 12 volt power supply here. And what you can do here is you can just go and connect these pins. And if we take a look at the pinout, so let's compare. We have our 5 volts, which I took from here. We have our minus 12, which I took from here. We have ground and ground. We have power OK. And we have plus 12. So that's our 6 wires, which just connect to the corresponding points or cables here. One thing we have to do is, the PSU won't start on its own, so we have to give it a little kick. And that is just by shorting these 2 pins here, PS on and COM or ground. So these 2 have to be shorted. If you take a look at my wiring here, which is just, I did just plug it in here, put the cables into the PSU connector. So on this side I have my ground, I have my plus 5, I have my power good and my plus 12 volts, and on this side I have my minus 12, ground, and the shorting of these 2 pins here, just with a wire. That should do that. And in theory, that should be enough to power this board. Yeah, pretty much. As you can see, it's very janky. So what I will do is, if this actually works, I will go and solder these wires to the connector here, because here's room, I can do that. Let's give it a try, I guess. Okay, got my regulatable power supply. We need 12 volts. Let's first check that we have 12 volts here. I think I used that lately. Spot on. Very nice. Switch on the screen. All the cables are still connected. Let's plug it in. We have no signal. I did not connect a video signal, which would be nice. Composite for now. Oh! Yeah! So that works. I have no keyboard connected. It's counting the RAM. Hard disk not found. Okay, there's no hard disk connected. That's awesome. The board works, which is great. Oh, beeper works, which is nice too. Drive A bad. I have nothing connected here. So that is excellent news, because that means system is running. Okay, let's connect a keyboard. Let's connect maybe the 5.25 inch drive to try and boot from that. Awesome, 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 awesome. So I'm a bit tempted to first go and solder these wires on here, and I will order another power brick, a 12 volt, but with about 80 watts, because this here has a 110 watt power supply in it, in the standard version, and I will use one of the PSU cases to rebuild a power supply with this, one of these bricks, and this micro PSU or mini PSU to rebuild the machine without showing that it's rebuilt. It should look pretty much original. So let me go and solder these wires in, and then we can go and test the disk drive. I did remove this connector here, and I did solder my wires directly to the board, and that is what it looks like now. This is permanent. This on the PC motherboard, on the other hand, is not. You can just remove the cables on the back, and on the front you don't even know that there is a modification. So let's test again if this still works, and then we can go and try the disk drive. That's not much. There we are. That looks pretty much the same as before. The bad image quality might be due to my janky PSU here. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, let's grab the disk drive. Only one power connector right now, so that's not much. And the disk drive, which is marked with an X here, an X here, but it's keyed anyway, so that should be that. Actually find two Commodore disks. That is not quite the Commodore disk, but it says DOS 3.2, which is the version which should be on this PC, and Commodore Advanced Graphics Adapter VSet Video Setup AGA test, whatever that means. So let's try the DOS disk. Ka-chink. And it should do the boot the boot sequence first, and then boot, or try to boot. I'll scan code from keyboard. Is that a problem? Or will it still try to boot? Oh yeah, even have the real-time clock, which is nice. Hard disk not found. Yeah, I know. It's trying to boot. Drive A bad. Question is it the disk or is it the drive? Let me try to clean the drive head, and maybe that is the problem. You never know with these things. So let me try to clean the head. Did try to clean this drive here, but to no avail. Not sure if it's the disk or if it's the drive. So I have another drive. which is this original IBM drive, which I'm pretty sure I can connect. There's a power connector, there's a data connector, so let's try that one. Never tried this. It came in some bundle and I just dismissed it until now because I had no use for it. But since this is an XT and this is an XT drive, let's XT around a little. I'm not sure if the PSU can take it, because that is one heavy-duty piece of tech. But we will see. I even brought the Commodore keyboard, which is still missing the escape key, but for now that's okay. Yeah, that was nice and pointless. So I did try the drive, but it didn't even twitch. So that thing is either very dead, which I assume it is. Oh yeah, I even have a chipped chip here. I'm not sure if this jumper is set correctly. And there should probably be one here too, to set this to A or B. So it might be that that is a missing part that makes this not booting. Other than that, motor seems to be in good condition. But the fact that it didn't even make a twitch when it powered up made me a bit nervous. So I disconnected it immediately. Okay, I'm officially rebuilding this PSU here. So here's the original, and my plan is to remove all the innards of this and replace it with a modern 12-volt brick plus this Pico PSU, and also use this connector here to get it connected to the top again. Yeah, so let me handle this and I will show you the result in a second. I did put the PSU back together. At least I did put the top back on. To put this cable down a little. We have the fan connected, we have the switch connected, and that should all be working now. So let's see what we get. Now, before I put this in the case, I will at least measure it. I have all the stuff needed here. We will measure the main power, which I have written down here. So we have these two blue wires are ground. This should be 5, plus 12, minus 12, and power good. And I will then off camera measure all these connectors here to be sure that they have the right voltages at the right spots. Provided everything works as I think. Okay, so we have the, let me switch this off again, going, it's hitting some cables, it's hitting its own cables. Let's put these out of the way. Let's try again. Yeah, better. Okay, so we will just measure this connector here. We should have ground on the blue connector, and then we are measuring the 5 volts first. We have 5.15, which is good. We have minus 12, minus 13, which is a bit high, but should be okay. And we have plus 12. Perfect. Okay, so that works. I will now go cable tie this all together, screw it together again, and then we should be good to put it in the case. I will measure all the other things here off camera, and then I'll see you with the PC put back together, I guess. So I did put the machine back together, power supply is in here, and you couldn't tell that it is not the correct power supply, or it is the correct power supply, but not the original power supply. Everything just looks stock, except for this cable here. Disk drives still don't work, I have no idea why, and I will not go into the details right now. But you may see that I have connected a new little card here, and that is XT IDE, which I bought specifically for this machine. So let's see if it actually works in this machine, because I never tested this. Okay, and here we are. I have my Commodore keyboard, which is different than the last one, because I still had a Commodore keyboard, which I totally forgot about. Let's press F4. Okay, so there's our XT IDE BIOS, which it found, and booting from C. Awesome. Let's see if it actually, there it is, MS-DOS. So I bought this with an TF card and stuff on it. No idea what that is. 6.22. That might be the highest MS-DOS ever running on this machine. Good, let's see what's on here. And I'm in 40 color mode because I'm still using the composite out. Okay, now it's stuck. Okay, just took a moment. So let's see what we have in games. And we have Snake, Solitaire, Saxon, 007 Kill, Arc 2, Digger, Dune, LR Red, Miner. Let's check out Miner. That doesn't do much. Divide overflow. Okay, I assume that is a memory problem. Let's check something else. What do we have? Saxon. And that is. It's just in a strange screen mode. No. Only keyboard control available, joystick not attached. Yeah, I know. Thank you. That is painfully slow. Player 1, your turn. Oh. Oh. I mean, it is Saxon. Oh. Okay, so the machine seems to work. And I can get files onto this. That is great. And it's loud. Like, very loud, because I connected that old fan. But, still. Good stuff. Okay, so yeah, that was rebuilding the power supply. That is pretty much all I have for this video. So until next time, bye bye. Thanks again to PCB Way for sponsoring this video. If you need any PCBs, pre-assembled PCBs or 3D printing, please use the link in the description below.
Thank you for watching Retro is the New Black. If you are new to the channel, please like and subscribe. If you like the video, please share. Every like, share, and comment helps a lot. Until next time, bye-bye.